Hello everyone. My name is Adarsh Kumar, and uh, welcome to my fourth lecture of this series. Today we are going to learn about nested loops in Python. So, I am referring YouTuber named Rishabh Misra notes in this, and I am using his notes to teach you, and I am also learning myself from these notes. So, what is nested loops in Python? In loops inside another loop is called nested loop. That means if a loop is under another loop, so it is known as the nested loops. This means that for every single time the outer loop runs, the inner loop runs all of its iteration. That means that a loop is executed inside another loop, so another inner loop will be executed that. And so why we use nested loops? There are some points that we use nested loops. So firstly, that handling multiple dimensional data such as matrices, grids, or list of lists. So we use for the handling multiple dimensional data when that we use nested loops. And second one is complex iteration. For complex operations depends on multiple variables and dimensions. And third one is pattern generation. This is easy in nested loop to creating patterns such as in graphics or games. So this is easy in nested loop that's why we use nested loops. And there is a syntax of nested loop. Here is an outer loop. There are two loops. I earlier said that there are two loops, loop inside another loop. So these are the things. So this is the syntax. First one is outer loop, then the inner loop, and then we execute the code for the inner loop and then for the code of outer loop. Okay. uh, so here I told you how a nested loop syntax is written. So firstly we used a nested loop syntax. Like first we wrote the syntax of outer loop, then an inner loop bit under it, and then we write the code of an inner loop in, and then we write the code block of execute of the outer loop. That's the syntax here. Nested loop example: prints number from 1 to 3 for, there's a question, print numbers from 1 to 3 for 3 times using for nested loop. So there is a syntax for I in range 3, means 3 will not print, like 0 1 2 we have print, and then another nested loop for j in range 1 to 4. Then we will write the code of execute of, then we write the code of execution of the inner loop and then the outer loop. Okay. Print numbers from 1 to 3 for 3 times using while for nested loop. So here that there is a question that we have to print numbers from 1 to 3 for 3 times using while and for nested loop. Firstly we have to use while, and then we have to use for loop. Okay. So there is first that I is equal to 1. I is equal to means here we will start from 1. I is a 1, and then is while is less than 4. It will run 3 times, like 0 1 2 3. No, 1 is I start from 1, so it will executes from 1 to 3, like 3 times, and then for j in range, so here is also 1 to 3, then print j, then print this I plus equal to 1. Here is an example. Let's try in this all things in VS Code. We have to try this. Wait a second, there are some mistakes. The code, okay. So here you see then I run, then see. First is the J1 is printed like firstly J is printed here like J loop. J is for loop, so for loop is for here, and then the printers of I loop here. Here I say 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay. Now we will use this one. This is also an nested loop example. Now we will use this. So we will, when we execute this code, it will also show that thing, because this is also same. We use firstly a while loop and then another a for loop. So this will start from 1, so 1 2 3. 4 will not printed because this start step index में that step is always exclusive. Okay, so this is exclusive thing here, so this will not print. Now when I print this, the execution comes as a 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, and now going to another thing. So there is also a nested loop interview question. So here is the question like print prime numbers from 2 to 10. So we have to print a prime number from 2 to 10. So firstly we have to know what is a prime number. So prime numbers are numbers that are divisible by 1 and the number itself. So here is example. First we use nested loop here. So for here you can see first we here use a nested loop for num in range 2 to 10. 10 is exclusive and 2 is inclusive. So here this for num in range 2 to 10, for I in range 2 to num. Okay, we included the parameter inside the second for loop. Okay, so both codes are executed in once, and if num percentage I means the number is divisible by itself, so is equal to 0, then break, and else print num. Understand this code? This is interview questions of we have to print prime number from 2 to 10. So for num in range 2 to 10, and then for I in range 2 to num, from 2 to num. If num is divisible by itself, divisible by I, then is equal to 0, then break, else print num. Let's use this code in VS Code and see what execution will come. So here you can see the execution comes as 2 3 5 7. These are the prime numbers between 2 to 10, and we used it from we use this from by and nested loop nested loop syntax. We use this by nested loops. So nested loops are really useful. So but I think we can also do it by only a range thing. Okay, let me try one thing. So num is not here, we will print I here. I num, no, this will not executed by this method. So here is that this is not possible without this. Like we have to use this for loop thing for the execution of prime number from 2 to 10. Okay, so this is an example, and here it is written as this is an interview question, so it is also important. So this is also important, and here is an examples of a nested loop. So this is all about nested loop. We have learned that nested loops are these are the loops inside another loop is known as the nested loops. Okay, so is a nested loop. This means that for every single time the outer loop runs, the inner loop runs all of its iterations. So, and then another question arises that why use nested loops? And these are the things from handling multi-dimensional data for the complex iteration, pattern generations. These are the three reasons that we use nested loops. And for for this type of examples, we also use, like, we have to print something from 1 to 2, 2 to 1, like this type of things. We also use these nested loops. This is easier than anything. So yes, for this. So now the another thing in list in Pythons. So now we are going to learn about lists in Python. So in this chapter we will learn about what is list, how to create lists, how to access list indexing and slicing, how to modify list, the methods, list methods, join list, list comprehensions, list iterations. So we will learn about this 8 things in this. So first of all, we will learn about what is a list. So a list in Python is a collection of items, elements that are ordered, changeable, mutable, and also duplicate elements, and also allow duplicates elements. So we have learned 3 things, that this is ordered, you can change it ordered, and this is changeable, you can change list. Okay, so it is mutable also, and allow duplicate elements. So these are the things about list. And some others are, lists are one of the most versatile data structures in Python and used to store multiple items in a single variable. So it is a list in Python is a collection of items. Lists are one of the most versatile data structures in Python and used to store multiple items in single variable. So here is a one list. So let's try this in a code. Here is a list. How lists are written into the square brackets, and then these are used in square bracket and the semicolon inside it. Now see, we will run this code. So here we created a list, and when we run this, so here is the list, like apple, orange, cherry, apple. This is the list. Okay, and then there is another thing, how to create a list in Python. So you can create list in Python by placing comma separated values between square brackets. List can contain elements of different data types including other lists. So syntax is like this: list name, element 1 2 3, and then list of strings. This is the string list, like this all the inside elements are in between the semicolons. So these are the list of strings. These are list of integers. These are mixed data types. These are nested lists. So nested list means a list inside a list. So like earlier we have learned nested loops. So nested loops are things that are loop inside a loop. So these that are known as nested loops. Okay, and then let's try these codes on our VS codes to how these things works. Okay, so here there are lists where when we print it, it comes like wait a second, there are some errors. We will try it one by one. This is not working, I can't understand. So wait, I will create a list in front of you. Like we will create a list name colors, and for creating a list we use to square bracket and add others 18 anything. So these are the list we have created here, and then print colors. So when we print here, so see, this list is coming like this. Inside this list there are string lists, and now we will use another nested list. So these are also a list here. So these are a list inside a list. So this is a nested list. Nested lists are that are the list inside a list is known as the nested lists. So here we done it. So we are learning about the lists. So here I showed you the list, how to create list in Python, and so here now I showed you how to create lists and how we create a nested list, and what is a list in Python. They are mutable, we can change it. And now we will see the accessing list element indexing. So you can access elements in a list by referring to their indexes. Python uses zero-based indexing, meaning the first element has an index of 0. So this statement says that if we index a list, so first statement is always a 0, and from the last it will use from -1. Okay, so here is the syntax: list name index. Thought that our list name is fruits, so fruits -1. If we use this, this will print for last letter of it. Okay, so here this fruit, we give 5 things in apple, orange, cherry, apple, mango. So first apple is 0, and then it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and mango is from -1. Okay, so that how it's used. So for accessing the first element we use 0. From accessing the third element we use 2. For accessing the last element we use -1. Okay, so this is known as indexing. So indexing is basically a thing you can access element in a list by referring to their index. Okay, from indexing we use this. So let's try in this VS Code. We will create a list and we will index its number. Here let's thought there is a list. Okay, so indexing we want like -1. So first we print colors, list number is -1, so it will print the list 4, 5. Here you can see it's print the list 4, 5. From last it is a -1 thing. Okay, it is -1. Let's try with 1, so it will print 18. So here you can see it's print 18 here, so he prints 18, and if we 0, then it will print others here. So 0, you can see here is the number others, and for 2 it will print anything. So here you can see it's print anything here. So this is how a list works, and this is known as indexing. We can access element by their index, so this is known as indexing. Now moving forward, now we will learn about list slicing. Slicing allows you to access a range of elements in a list. You can specify the start and stop indices, and Python returns a new containing the specified elements. Okay, this thing says that we can access a range of elements in a list, so this is known as slicing. In slicing we can use a range of elements. Okay, like we can use a range of elements, like I have to print a number from 0 to 5, so we use slicing method to print this. So its syntax is, first we have to write the list name, and then where we want to start, and then where we have to stop, and the step, how much steps we are going from it. Okay, so here's a list name print numbers, and there are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So here's the number like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first question is we slice from index 1 to 3. So here's a start thing and there's a start and stop. We will start from 1 and stop at 3. Okay, so 20, 30, 40 will print, and here's the output 20, 30, 40. Slice from start to index 2. If we start from 0, so it will come with 10, 20, 30, and we don't have to print 30, 40, so we will use this semicolon 3. It will exclude the 3, it will print only 0, 1, 2. Slice all alternative elements like 10, 30, 50 we have to use like this, so we will use 0 to 2. We will not give stop thing, so it will print 1 by 1. Slice with negative indices. For reversing a list we use this semicolon, like we throw the start and stop thing, and but only we give a step, so minus, it will step like it's print from -1 to where it will end. Okay, so let's use these things in VS Code. So let's suppose this is a string here, so I want to slice it. Now let's suppose I have to slice it from 0 to 2, so I will give a start and I will give a step, so it will print RH18 and anything. So here you can see, oh wait a second, we will not give a start here. So here I showed you like the end is exclusive, end will not print. Okay, like I give 1 to 4, the end will not print it. Or if I give 1 to 2, there are the only two things will print, 0 and 1, and I give 1 and 2, so only 1 will print, end will not print. For reversing the list, let's try this semicolon -1, so it will reverse the list. Okay, here you can see first is the 4, 5, anything 18, so this reverse this list. Okay, and when you have to use 0 from 3, step is 2, so it will print 1 by 1, 0 and 80, see others and anything will print. So this is step by step. I have to print from 0 to 3. So here we will print 0, 1, 2 value here, so it will print from 0 to 3. So this is list slicing. So here we know about indexes, we know about slicing. So index is a thing, like index gives you the axis element, and slicing gives you from a range, like you have to print numbers from 0 to 5, so these are slicing, but you want actually a number like 4, so this is indexing. If you want to access only one element, you will use indexing, and you have to access number of elements from a range, like from 1 to 5, we will use slicing. So this is the thing. So here we know how to print everything. Reverse list I also do. Now modifying list. So earlier I told you that lists are mutable, so we can easily change this list, meaning you can change the content after creation. You can add, remove or change elements in list. So here we also said that we can add at a position, what we have to add, what we have to remove, what we have to change. We can do all these things in list because lists are changeable and mutable, means they are both same. These are mutables. So that's first we use as a indexing. We want a one we have to, then we changing an element. So firstly we change the element. Okay, so fruits 1, we changes banana to blueberry. We changed banana to blueberry. So we changed here banana into a blueberry. Print fruits, and then we adding element. For adding element we used append. Append adds the elements in a list or anything. So then there we use fruits dot append mango, fruit, print fruits, apple, blueberry, cherry, mango. Then remove, for removing an element use remove element. For joining a list, like we have to combine two lists, so we use extend to combine two lists. So first we note two things, that we can replace and list from this syntax, then we can add element into it, and then we can also remove an element into it. So there are some list methods. Python provides several built-in methods to modify and operates on list. Example methods are append, extend, insert. These are some methods. So first append, it is used for adds a single element to end of the list. It will add the element at the end of the list. Extend, add multiple elements from another iterable to end of the list. It add another elements from another list into the end of the list. Okay, that means we can use to combining two lists. Insert, inserts an element at a specific position. Remove, removes the first occurrence of a specified element. Pop, removes and returns an element at a specified index. If no index is specified, it removes the return of the last element. Okay, so it basically pop says the removes and returns an element at an specified index. If no index is specified, it removes and return the last element. And then another thing is clear, removes all elements from the list resulting in an empty list. Index, return the index of the first occurrence of a specified element. Count, return the number of occurrences of a specified element. And sorts the list in ascending order by default. Okay, so it sorts the element to in ascending order. You can also sort in descending order and specify sorting criteria. Reverse the element of the list in a place. Copy, returns a shallow copy of the list. So here we will see that there are several ways to join or concatenate two or more lists in Python. So earlier we learned about the list methods, how to first we can change the position of a list, and then we can add element. When we use append, element will be added to at the last. And removing an element, for removing an element we use remove syntax, that is removes the element. Okay, And then I showed you about Python provides several built-in methods to modify and operate on lists. Join lists. There are several ways to join or concatenate two or more lists. So for joining a list, there are some various methods. So basically here are some ways we can join lists. So there are several ways to join or concatenate two or more lists in Python. So firstly there is a way that first we have to create two lists. So here in this question, the first we created list 1 is equal first we created a list 1 and another we created a list 2. Then we created another list 3, in where we performed an operation as addition operator, that we concatenated list 1 plus list 2 and then print list 3. So from there it's come as list 3. Okay. Then there's another way that we can use for loop here. For x in list 2 list 1 dot append x print list 1. So it will print list 1 list 2 both, but I think this list 3 is equal to list 1 plus 2 is more way easier than anything. And using extend method, add elements from and the simple one is extend list 1 dot extend list 2. It concatenate one list into another list. Okay, so these are some ways for it. We will use this for loop method because this is too complicated for you, so let's see this. So basically thing is we have to create list 1 and list 2. Okay, so I created a list 1 and 2. And then we will create a list 2 here, and then when we run it, so here you can see the both list 1 and list 2 concatenated at there. Okay, so list 1 and list 2 both are concatenated here. So here is the way you can do it. So there are some ways for it that you can join list, concatenate list. I think the simple one is extend one. You can create two lists and just list 1 dot extend list 2. You can do this. This is much way better. Okay, so here's how to join lists. And now there is list comprehensions. List comprehensions provide a conscious way to create lists. They consist of brackets containing an expression followed by a for clause and optionally if clause. So list comprehensions provide a conscious way to create lists. Okay, they consist of brackets containing an expression followed by a for clause and optionally if clauses. Okay, so this is the list comprehension. Okay, so its syntax is first we new list an expression for item in iterable if condition. So creating a list of squares, like squares x like x is square for x in range 1 to 6. So print square, the output will know that it will come as, so this list is like this. Means so in this question for this question here, this is square question, we will square the numbers between 1 to 6. So 1 to 6 means we will do 1 2 3 4 5, these numbers we will do. So here is the way when we put square, so output will be 1 4 9 16 25 is the output. And then another filtering even numbers, x for x in range 1 to 11 if x is divisible by 2. So here we created an x from range 1 to 11 numbers, and we will print those numbers that are divisible by 2, so even numbers basically. So here this is the way we can do that. And another, applying a function to each element. Okay, apply functions to each element like fruits uppercase. So dot upper is used for converting a paragraph into all upper cases. Okay, so here we created a list fruit in which apple, banana, cherry are there, and then uppercase fruits, we fruits dot upper for fruits in fruits. So basically this list comprehension says we have firstly seen here. First we write the expression. So here's the expression here that we will use upper clause here. So this is upper fruit dot upper for fruit in fruits. Okay, then we that for item in, if condition लगाना है तो लगा सकते हैं हम, like first expression for item in. List compression, flattened a list, flattened a nested list using comprehension, right? Okay, so here's also same thing, like def flattened list returns item for sublist in list for item in sublist. Example, nested list. First we say take a nested list here, and this flattened list, nested list, print flattened. Okay, so it converted into flattened, like in a one list. Okay, flattened thing. Iterating over list. Iterating allows you to traverse each element in a list, typically using loops. So example is here, like iterating over list. Iterating allows you to traverse each element in a list, typically using loops. For like first we use a fruits here, then apple, banana, cherry, using for loop. For fruits in fruits, print fruits using while loop index equal to 0. So here is the way that we can use iterating over lists. So its output will be like, first it will print apple, then banana, then cherry. Overall we learned everything about lists, how to join lists, list comprehensions, list compressions. Like flattening a list, we can use flattened items for sublist in list for item in sublist. That is the thing we can use. Iterating over lists. Iterating allows you to traverse each element in list, typically using traverse. Okay, so using for loop for fruit in fruits, print fruits. So from this we can print fruits, and for using for loop, and then we can also print this using while loop. Index 0 while index is less than len fruits. This is also, we can use this by while loop. So today we all learn about list, how index is done in list, slicings how is done. We learn about nested loops. So basically I told you that indexing is used for when you need a specific number, and slicing is used when we need a range, like from 1 to 5 I have to print, then we will use slicing. Okay, so these are the things